Welcome to Gentle Restorative. My name is Sandra. Take a comfortable seat and close your eyes. And without doing anything else, just allowing yourself to be present, I want you to tap in to the sensations you feel in the body. That might mean the good things. It might also mean maybe not so good. Some tight areas perhaps that need to be stretched. Just noticing. And if anything in the body is attached to perhaps an emotional element that you don't particularly enjoy, I want you to observe the sensations as a witness. Can we detach from the emotion of it and just notice, as though we were taking notes for a friend? Low back, feeling a little tight, right knee, not super happy, right? Just noticing these things. Shoulders, feel great today, whatever it is. And if at any point the emotion pops in to pull you away from your yoga mat, I want you then to just come back to the breath. Listen to the breath, feel the breath, even start to analyze it. Is it shallow? Is it deep? If you had to give a texture to the breath, what would you tell me it is? If it had a color, what would it be? Does it feel cool, warm? So allowing yourself to stay present and not being swept away by any thoughts that the mind thinks might be more important right now. Now, when you're ready, give me a deep inhale through the nose. Loud exhale. On your inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Bring the palms together. Exhale the hands home to your heart in prayer pose. And then pausing here to set an amazing intention for your day, for your practice. When you're ready, release the arms down, fingertips to the earth beside you. Let the fingers walk away in opposite directions. Sit up nice and tall. And then just drop that right ear toward the right shoulder. Inhale, head back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Now take that left arm, bring it around behind your back. Inhale here. And as you exhale, right hand is walking away from you. It is guiding you into a side bend. And you can catch yourself wherever you need to be. Open up that top shoulder, just gently pull it back. Take your gaze upwards if that's okay. And try to push that left hip towards the earth. 3 deep breaths. When you finish that last exhale, slowly push your way back up. Free the arms. Inhale them up. Exhale to the heart. And just pausing here to be. Release the fingertips to the earth. Let them walk away from each other as you lengthen. Deep breath in. Cleansing exhale. Right hand coming around behind the low back. Inhale. Exhale, left hand walking away from you, helping you enter a side bend. Pull back that top shoulder. Gaze to the ceiling if that's okay with your body. And then use that left hand to push the ground away. That'll help tip that right hip back down if it left the earth. 3 breaths here. And when you're ready, slowly make your way back to center. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale to the heart. So from here, I want to focus on 3-part breathing for a couple of reasons. I really want to tap into being able to do a body scan without the emotions taking us off in a different direction. I want to keep you present on the mat. And 3-part breathing, I think, correlates really well with that because obviously the bottom part of the breath is low, right? It's down in the abdomen. That's about as close as we're going to get to the root chakra with the breath. And the root chakra, if you recall, is about fear and being safe and things that make us feel not so safe. And so I think that's when some of those emotions that come in with bodily sensations might be triggering that root chakra. So I really want to send the breath down there to keep us present and to allow us to stay detached as a witness. And then we have the middle part of the breath, right? It's in the solar plexus, which is all about self-esteem, but for our purposes and our topic today, control. And I want you to feel empowered to stay in control of being present. And then the breath comes up into the upper chest, and you might even be able to imagine drawing it higher, but I want to connect it with the heart space. And what does your heart truly want and need? So sometimes when emotion is connected to the somatic or physical sensations, we get pulled away from the heart. So that's how I want to think about the breath today. So go ahead, sit up nice and tall, close your eyes. You can even, if you've got a wall nearby, you can scooch back and sit up against the wall. And I want you to take your focus down into the space right below the navel. You could put a hand there if it helps. And I want you to inhale into that space. So the stomach should push out as far as it can go. And as you exhale, stomach pulls in towards the back of the spine. And this might take a little bit of practice. If it's a new breath for you, keep going. We're trying to only keep the breath down below the navel. So if you are feeling the chest rise, go back, start over. See if you can keep that inhale down in the sacral. And hopefully you notice that to keep the breath this low requires focus. And that focus is going to keep us present and hopefully stop us from being drawn away by the mind. Breathing in and out through the nose. Each inhale, push the belly way out in front of you. Each exhale, pull that belly button in. Each breath, perhaps your mantra is, I am strong. Two more. Nice job. Now, inhale into the belly about halfway. I guess I should explain. I meant halfway with the inhale, not halfway pushing the stomach out. Half of that inhale, stomach's going to push all the way out. The other half of the inhale, bring that breath up in just above the belly button so you feel it throughout the ribs. Still trying not to bring it into the chest. And you'll know because you'll feel the chest move forward and you might feel the shoulders move up. All right, go for it. Keep going. This is going to be a challenge again if this is a new breath for you. The way I have to envision this is once I get to the ribs, I am focusing on it being a three-dimensional breath. So I actually focus on my ribs moving outwards to each side, and that makes it easier for me to feel it in that midsection. See what works for you. It almost feels like I'm creating an internal force to push the ribs outward. When you feel like you can kind of shift your attention a little bit, the mantra, I am strong. Two more. Nice job. Let that go for a moment. So now we get to the three-part breath. Inhale into the belly. Stomach pushes out as far as it can. 2/3 of that inhale is used for the mid-ribs, and that last third is going to be in the chest. So however you experience that is perfect. If you want to feel like you can draw that breath higher, you can. And then remember you're exhaling in reverse order. Keep going. I'm going to encourage you to take the breath very slowly so that you really can feel yourself sectioning that breath within the body. And then perhaps when you get to the top of the inhale, maybe hold that breath for a few seconds. Really experience it. And then slowly let it go from the shoulders and the chest and work your way down. Feel your strength, even if this is one of those days where you aren't sure where to find it. Knowing that it's in there, it's in the heart space. And you'll get to it. You'll get to it. Life is chaos. And sometimes that chaos makes us feel like we've lost that place of strength. But I want you to remind yourself that it's there. Remind yourself until you know it. So breathing in, I am strong. Exhale, I am strong. If you want to use a different word, I am powerful. I feel empowered. Whatever resonates with you, that's what I want you to tap into. At any point in time during our sequence on the mat, if your mind is drawn away by emotion-tied thoughts, I want you to remember you're strong. The thoughts are not real. Pull yourself back to what is, and what is real, present moment, your physical body sitting on the mat. If you need to remind yourself by touching the mat, feeling its texture, or the carpet if that's what you're sitting on, anything you have to bring yourself back into the present moment. All right, make this your last controlled breath. And then just let the breath be. Letting go of that control kind of feels like a rebound breath takes over, right? You don't have to do any work. It just happens naturally. And I want you to embrace that. Now inhale, both arms up. Bring the palms together. Exhale them back home to your heart. And then the right hand's coming forward to the ground. Left hand is reaching behind you. So recall that I said that middle part where we had the breath focusing on the solar plexus is about control. We need to wring that out a little bit. So sit up nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, use your fingers to help you twist to the left. Let that twist start low so you can feel it work its way up through the abdomen. That back shoulder is going to pull back a little bit further. Gaze over that left shoulder if you can. Each inhale, lengthen. Each exhale, a little bit more twist, wringing out that energy center that thinks it wants control. There is no control. Let it go. Staying focused on the present. That's where your control actually is. All right, on your next exhale, gently unravel, come back to center. Close your eyes and feel that. What sensations do you notice? How does the low back feel? How does the mid back feel? Did you feel the twist anywhere else? One of the sensations I feel is actually in my fingertips from pushing against the carpet. Do you notice that too? Were you really using the earth to leverage that twist? All right, left hand in front of you, right hand behind. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, slowly take that twist to the right. Start it low. Right shoulder pulls back. Gaze moves over the right shoulder, if that works for your body. Inhale, push the ground away, sit up taller. Exhale, a little bit more twist. Doesn't mean the body's actually going to go there, but energetically feel that. And then when you get to that next exhale, come back to center. Close your eyes, be present to the sensations. So one of the sensations I'm noticing is my left foot's falling asleep. So that means we need to move. So let's slowly come on over into table. Work this out a little bit, side to side, pushing the ribs out in one direction and then the other, lingering where you need to. So why do we do self body scans? Why would that be important? I'm going to suggest that it's an element of self-care, and self-care is very closely tied to self-compassion. So I want you to make the poses what you need them to be. If you're practicing self-care, then you are doing what you need to do on the mat, not necessarily what I'm suggesting you do. So make any changes that you need to. All I ask of you in this particular class is that you try to remain present. So I want you to close your eyes and table. And I want you to notice the sensation that you feel. Just pick one. So for instance, I'm noticing the texture of my mat underneath my hands. All right, give me another sensation. I'm feeling the pressure, gentle pressure of my weight on my knees. Yours are going to be totally different. I'm just trying to help you out if you're stuck. Give me another one. Okay, I feel like I have an itch on my right shoulder, but I'm going to ignore it. What else? I can feel my hair falling around my face. I feel the tops of my feet on my mat. Give me a deep inhale, hold it. Exhale, let it go. Keep your eyes closed. Tuck the toes. Slowly lift the knees off the mat. Take this as slowly as possible to downward facing dog. And so hips are moving up and back. Walk this out a little bit. We haven't stretched out the legs yet. So remember in down dog, and you can look forward and open your eyes for a moment if you want to. The wrist crease should be facing, or it should be parallel with the front edge of your mat. Fingers are spread wide. Fingers have a gentle grip to the mat, almost as though there's a space between your palm and the earth. Shoulders should not be over the wrists. If they are, you're kind of stuck between plank and dog. So I need you to push the earth away so the shoulders slide back. You're creating a triangle here, and it's okay if the heels do not touch the mat. Don't worry about that. It is also okay if you need to bend the knees. Breathe. Exhale. Let's bring the knees back down to the earth. You can keep the toes tucked. Inhale, right into cow. Belly sinks, heart lifts. Exhale, take it to cat. Now, come back to table for a second. I want you to think about cat-cow. Inhale, cow. Notice the sensations. On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you in this pose? Exhale, take it to cat. Same questions. Come back to table. So I want you to decide which pose felt like it was more needed. And that is the pose I want you to go to right now. For me, I felt like I really need to stretch out through cat pose, so I'm going to stay here. You do you. Give me 3 deep breaths. When you're ready, come back to table, and then let's take the knees wide, feet together, and go ahead and sit back on the heels for a moment. We're going to come into Balasana, child's pose, but I want to give you the option to grab any props if you're using props. So I'm going to put my bolster out in front of me. You could use a pillow, you could use blankets. You don't have to have any props. I also kind of like the front or the far end of my bolster kind of elevated. And then I have space to put my arms underneath. So you make child's pose whatever you need it to be. If you don't have any props, knees are wide, arms reach out on the earth, forehead to the mat. Here's where I would suggest, if your forehead doesn't touch the ground, look around. Do you have something that you could put under the forehead, like a sweatshirt or, I don't know, grab a dog. My dog's asleep over there. Grab something just to make this restorative so the head is not hanging in space. And then close your eyes. And then this is what I want to point out. When we come into a restorative pose and I say close your eyes, what kicks in generally? I'm imagining I hear someone with the right answer, or the answer I'm thinking of. Maybe right answer isn't the way to put that. The mind is now free to jump on in because the body has settled. You're not focused on transitioning between poses. We've blocked out the sensation of sight. Yeah. And so the mind is like, okay, let's see, where can we go? I want you to stay in control and keep the mind present. So we were talking about control in the solar plexus, the idea that control doesn't really exist. It's illusory, except when it's dealing with you. And you do have control over the mind, even though it often feels like you don't. Stay present. How can you do that? What can you focus on? Right? Focus on directing your mind yourself. such as, I want you to focus on the parts of the body that are touching the floor. And so depending how we've each set up Balasana, right, that's going to be different. But I'm guessing probably each of us does have our calves or shins, on the floor, tops of the feet. That some part of your arms or hands can feel the ground. What else? So when you think you've run out of answers, I want you to find one more. Another part of the body touching the earth, not the props, your mat, your floor. Okay, if you're using props, now I want you to redirect the focus. Which parts of the body are touching the props? So if you're not using props, you could consider your mat, again, as one large prop. Might be the same answers as you had before, that's okay. And then keeping the eyes closed, what do you hear? Of course, I know you hear me while I'm talking, but when I pause, what do you hear? And then what can you smell? If you can't smell anything, what would you like to smell drifting through the house? Of course, my mind always jumps to chocolate chip cookies, but I don't know. When I'm a child's pose, my mat kind of smells like essential oils. It also has a rubbery smell to it, I'm not gonna lie, just slight. So what do you notice? I also want to point out that doesn't mean everything you're picking up on is pleasant. Yeah, my dog's down here. It was raining earlier, and I'm not gonna lie, it kind of smells a little bit like wet dog down here. But that's okay. That is part of my present space. So notice everything. All right, I am actually going to stop talking for a moment so you can focus on your present moment. All right, give me a deep inhale. As you exhale, let's start to make our way back up. If you have props out in front of you, go ahead and move them aside. And then I want you to bring the knees in towards each other, glue the legs together. You, again, might want something out in front of you if you're looking at the ground right now and knowing there's no way your forehead and the ground are meeting today. And I want to come into embryo. So simply let the ribs melt over the thighs, forehead to the earth or onto a prop if you have one nearby. Arms are down alongside you. Relax the shoulders, let them sink towards the earth. So I wanted to bring you here after child's pose because what I like about both of these poses, I'm sure I've mentioned this a million times, is that to me they both feel very self-protecting. And I wanted you to have that kind of a space, especially if you're having a hard time staying present and if you're being led off by emotion-based thoughts. And so I want you to feel your strength here, how these two poses are essentially cradling the heart chakra. And I feel like these two poses are very much about self-care and self-compassion. So I want you to identify how the poses feel different and figure out, you might know already, which one you like better. While you're doing that, stay present, stay with the breath. So I wanted to share a quote attributed to Buddha. Your work is to discover your world, and then with all of your heart, give yourself to it. And I chose that quote because if your work is to discover your world, you have to be present. If you are ruminating about stuff that occurred in the past or worrying about the future, I'm not certain how you're going to be able to discover your present world. That was kind of said, well, all right. I was going to say rhetorically, maybe a little sarcastically, you can't. And I want you to be so curious about your present world, right? That's where the excitement is. That's where possibility lies, and that's where change can occur. So stay present with me. I'm really going to drill this in because if you're a mind drifter, I'm really trying to keep you, I'm really trying to draw you in with me. So anything you can do to stay present, I am appreciative of. So back to the breath. Give me a deep inhale. Loud exhale. And just go ahead and roll your way up slowly round the spine. Your head is going to be the last part of the body to lift. Bring the shoulders up, take them back and down. Lift the chin just slightly, just a hint of elevation so you can feel your strength. You ever notice when we're not feeling strength? The chin is down here, raised down toward the collarbone, perhaps or even slouched. I want you to inhale your strength and stay there for the exhale. Perfect. All right, hands are reaching forward. Come back up into table. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow, tuck the toes. Notice that arch in the low back. Keep it there as you lift the knees and push the hips back to dog. And so it might sound weird to say keep the arch there, but as you get used to dog, you might notice that there is a slight arch that we try to maintain. We don't want to round out in dog. Rounding out is going to bring the shoulders forward into that weird place I was mentioning before where we're stuck between two poses. So again, if you want to lift the heels and bend the knees to really feel that slight aspect of cow pose, go ahead. Ears are between the upper arms. Give me a deep inhale. Exhale. job. Come forward into plank. Option A, you can come straight down in chaturanga. Option B, modified plank first, and then come on down. Untuck the toes when you're ready and find cobra and figure out where a good cobra is for you, right? No judgment. There can't be judgment and self-care and compassion. So cobra can be here, can be anywhere in between. Where it cannot be, do not lock the arms and take the shoulders up. I want you to stay relaxed. Shoulders are back and down, slight bend to the elbows. But yet there is a slight elevated lift of that chin again that just demands you to recognize your strength. Breathe in here. Hold the pose, let go of the breath. Again, inhale. This time as you exhale, come on down from wherever you are. Nice. We're going to take, let's see, I'm going to run into some things here. Right arm forward. That left arm, send it alongside your body. Forehead to the mat. And then I want you to push the pelvic bone down into the earth so that you have some control here. Lift the right arm, left leg. Hold it here. So imagine that I'm pulling on your right wrist, but I'm also somehow pulling on your left ankle. Really stretch it out. Good job. When you get to an exhale, release. Same arm, same leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale back down. Now, if you really want to challenge yourself, try to do your 3-part breath here. It's going to be hard because the stomach is going to push out against the floor. All right, go ahead. Exhale, come back down. Take your time. One more. Good job. Switch the arms, left arm forward, right arm back. When you're ready, left arm up, right leg up, push the pelvic bone down. Keep going, take it slow. Last one. Really lengthen. Nice. From here, go ahead and make a pillow with your arms right ear toward the hands and just close your eyes. Take your focus down into your feet. What sensations do you notice? Can you feel the ground against the tops of the feet? Are your feet cold or are they warm or somewhere in between? Are your feet, this might sound weird, but let me explain what I mean. I was going to say, are they rigid? In other words, are you holding those legs into place or have you softened here and allowed maybe the heels to fall open? Are the feet relaxed? I want you to take your focus into both legs and notice if they feel the same, different, little of both. Which parts of the legs feel the same? Which parts feel different? So again, I'm really asking you to dig deep, not just, I feel the ground underneath me. Be more specific. Like, okay, for me, I'm sure we all have something about our bodies that just kind of weirds us out. I don't like kneecaps. I do not like the sensation of my kneecaps pushing against the ground. I am very aware that one feels differently positioned than the other, and I don't like it, but that's okay. I don't have to like it because I'm noticing and I'm trying to remove my emotion from that and just notice. That's what I want you to do. Get really specific. And stay just within the legs. Okay, let's move our focus into the hips. Does it feel like there's even weight on both hips, or are you perhaps tipped a little bit more into one than the other? Take your focus into the sacrum. So tailbone, tight, loose, relax, tense. To the abdomen. And here it might just be noticing the breath, how the inhale pushes against the ground. And then the low back. And I want to linger here because, we did some cobras and that might have left some sensation in the low back. Hopefully not pain, just sensation, a little stretch. So notice that. Keep your mind present. And then go ahead and turn your head to the other side. So left ear down. Take your focus into the mid ribs. Can you feel the breath there? To the space between the shoulder blades. To the heart, a protected heart space. Pause here to breathe in, I am strong. Take your focus into the right arm and shoulder. Take your focus into the left arm and shoulder. And then will you turn your head so that the forehead is resting on your hands or your arms? Take your focus into the back of the neck. Take your focus to your cheeks and your jaw. Take your focus to the forehead. And take your focus into your hands where you can feel the weight of your head. Now, take your focus back down, soles of the feet. I want you to inhale from the soles of your feet all the way up to the crown chakra, top of the head, and then exhale from the crown all the way back down. Huge, full breath. All right, let's go ahead and get those elbows and forearms underneath us. Lift the heart, lift the chin. Decide if this is okay for your low back. If it's not, take the elbows out just a little bit wider. Then I'm going to pivot on that right elbow so the forearm comes across the mat in front of me. Freeze up my left arm to reach back for that left foot and draw it in. Open up that left shoulder if you can. If this is too much on the back, I want you to drop down. You can even keep your head on the ground if you want to. Another breath in. Exhale, let it go. We're switching sides. On your next exhale, release that leg. Let's replant the hands. Push our way up into table. And then here's where I want you to choose. Either you're bringing the legs together for embryo, or knees are going wide, feet together for child's pose. I leave that up to you. When you're ready, come on down. Allow the head to rest on something if that's possible. As you settle into your space, stay present. You keep control of the mind, not the other way around. So Anne Lamott wrote, almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. So let's consider we're just unplugging from the emotions. It's the emotions that generally get us stuck in the past, because then we're following this trail of perhaps regret, guilt, sadness, shame, whatever it is, right? Unplug from that and immediately feel yourself present where everything is. Yeah. So I have this other quote for you that I liked, because I often hear this argument that self-care is selfish, when it truly just has to be the opposite, right? And so the quote is by Katrina Mayer: loving yourself isn't vanity, it's sanity. I want you to feel that right now. Each deep breath you take, restorative, revitalizing, empowering. Each exhale, letting go of stuff. Just let it go. And don't stop to worry about where you're letting it go to. I mean, seriously, if you got to come back to the ruminations or the worry, you can do that after we're done. But right now, you're unplugging from that. Breathing in light. Breathing in love. And I really want you to notice and focus in on the fact that I didn't say what kind of love. I didn't say self-love because that's very difficult for many people. And I didn't want you to feel challenged on the mat. So just let it be love, whatever that means, wherever it's coming from, whatever kind of support that is, breathing that in and letting go. All right. Whichever pose you're in, I want you to get your hands back in underneath you. So child's pose, draw them in. If you're an embryo, sweep them forward. Make your way back up to sitting, but we're going to pop off of those heels pretty quickly. And then when you're ready, don't hurry. I was already seated, so I was already here. Stretch your legs out in front of you. And close your eyes. Flex the feet, will you? All right. We are coming into a supported supine cobbler. So I'm going to tell you what I would suggest with all your props. If you don't have any props, don't worry about it. I'll show you what that looks like too. So if you have a bolster, put it behind you. It could be your blanket. It could be a pillow. Let's get a block on either side of us for the knees. Yeah. And then feet together, knees on the blocks. Gently make your way back. So for those of you who do not have any props, put blocks aside. Here's where I want you to be careful. Go ahead and bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide. Slowly make your way back. Take it slowly. Here's where you might kind of feel an issue with not having props here. Does it feel like gravity is pulling down on the legs too much? Like this, like the hip opener is just way too much. I don't want it to feel like that. And that's why the props are good, because they hold the legs in place. If you're feeling that it's too much, or heck, it's too vulnerable of a position, if we're trying to push emotions away, I would rather you take your feet to the edges of the mat, bring the knees together, draw the low back down, rest the hands on the stomach, and close your eyes here. So in between the two poses I just gave you, there are a myriad of variations, and self-care deems that you choose what variation is right for you. So it could be something I didn't even say. And then just settle in and be present with the breath. If you had to choose a color, what color does the breath feel like now? And then noticing what color you chose, so you can Google later if you don't know your chakras, which chakra that color correlates with. Breathing in safety, that'll target the root chakra. Breathing in peace for the heart chakra. Breathing in the thought, I have the right to be heard. That's for the throat chakra. Breathing in, I choose to let go of needing control. That's for the solar plexus. Breathing in, I am strong and can follow my intuition. Third eye. Tapping into your creativity to stay present, sacral. And leaning into that space of feeling supported by whatever belief system you have. That's the crown chakra. And I want you to notice that I didn't take the chakras in order. I was kind of skipping around. That is a great technique you can use when you're trying to stay present, because we know the order of things, right? The mind gets very comfortable with order. For example, if you told yourself to count to 20, you might not stay present counting to 20 because you naturally know the numbers, right? But if you tell yourself to start at 100 and count backwards by sixes, that might require you to stay more focused, right? So whatever little techniques you need to use to help yourself out, I highly encourage it. All right, wherever your legs are, let's go ahead and make our way to hugging the knees in towards the heart. We're going to set that left foot down on the mat. Stretch the right leg up to the ceiling, interlace the hands behind the thigh or use your strap. Where do you feel the stretch? Breathe into that. I'm going to let this right leg cross in front of that left thigh. Bend the right knee. So now my legs are crossed, right? I'm just going to let the legs now drop to the left. Think about this. If you need a prop to catch you, put it there first. Otherwise, take this slow, controlled. Right shoulder stays down on the earth. We are initiating a twist again in that solar plexus, wringing out this need for control. Deep breath in. Cleansing exhale. I want you to safely bring the knees back up. So engage. This is a conscious movement. Uncross the legs, set the right foot down. Realign the hips if you need to. Left leg up to the ceiling. Noticing what you feel. It might be the stretch in the left leg. It might be lingering sensation from the twist. It could be something else. All right, take that left leg, let it start to drop to the right so that the left leg crosses in front of the right thigh. Bend the left leg. And then slowly drop the knees. Hit the wall here. Drop the legs over to the right. Keep that left shoulder down. Again, if you need a prop underneath the knees to catch them, that is fair. Deep breath in. Cleansing exhale. Again, with control, let's bring the legs back up. Uncross them, set both feet on the mat. Realign the spine. And then stretch out your legs. Deep inhale. Loud exhale. Close your eyes, soften here. In your mind, name 5 things that you feel. Name 4 things that you hear. And then I want you to shift your focus to what you see behind your closed eyes. That darkness, that safe space. It offers solitude. It offers a place of restoration. Drop your focus to the heart. In fact, take one hand and rest it on the heart. Inhale, I am strong. Exhale, I am loved. Inhale, love, without labeling it. Exhale, whatever you want to get rid of. And then stay right here with the breath. Really be conscious of the feeling of that hand that's resting on the heart chakra. And if you move that hand, bring it back. Feel your breath. Now take your left hand. I shouldn't have said left hand. Take the other hand. I don't know which hand you used. Other hand. And rest it on top of the hand that's on your heart space. I want the one hand resting on the other to symbolize or remind you that you are your best support system. That you are always there for yourself. That you are strong. I want you to feel that strength underneath your hands, emanating from the heart. Take a deep breath in that heart space and hold it. Huge cleansing exhale. Stay right here. As you release the hands, go ahead and roll to a side in a fetal position. So I had you keep your hands up on the heart because it takes effort to hold the arms there. If we had released them for Shavasana, it would have been much easier for you to relinquish being in the present. Give me a deep inhale. Exhale, gently push your way up into any seated pose. Keep the eyes gently shut. Strong inhale through the nose. Super loud exhale through the mouth. Inhale, both arms up. Palms together. Exhale them home to your heart. The light in me bows to the light in you. And when I'm in that place in me, and you're in that place in you, then we become one. Namaste.